Okay, let's get started with tracing blood for this example here from the right atrium and to the calf muscle and of course back. So this is just tracing blood from the right atrium to the calf muscle and of course back to the right atrium. So we begin the right atrium. So if you look right here, this is the heart. So let's just take this part off right here. And we can see right here, this is your right atrium. So your deoxygenated blood or your CO2 blood is going to return right here into the right atrium. So we have the inferior vena cava that's returning deoxygenated blood or CO2 blood from your lower regions of the body, and likewise right here we see the superior vena cava that's returning deoxygenated blood or CO2 blood from your upper regions of your body. So we can see the right atrium is right here. From there, it's going to go to the left. It's going to go from there, from the right atrium. It's going to go into the right ventricle right here. So here's your right ventricle, and of course this valve right here is your tricuspid valve, and it's going to be open. It lets in the blood into your right ventricle. Now you have contraction of the ventricle here, which is going to work to close this tricuspid valve here, and then it's going to move that into the pulmonary trunk now, and this valve right here is going to open your pulmonary valve. So now the blood goes into the pulmonary trunk and then to your pulmonary arteries, because the pulmonary trunk branches off into these branches, your pulmonary arteries, as you see here. And we'll go over to this model here. So we have the pulmonary arteries which are carrying the deoxygenated blood or CO2 blood to the lungs, and this is showing you the alveolar sacs, as you see here. And we can then go to the smaller arteries, the arterioles, which are even smaller than the arteries. And then of course we finally get to the capillaries. So notice right here, you see that you have your arterioles going to the capillaries here. You're dumping off the CO2, and you can see that the CO2 is going to go into the alveolar sacs, and eventually the CO2 is going to make its way out the lungs, out the trachea here, and of course out the mouth or nose for expiration or exhalation. Okay, so we have the oxygenated blood right here. So as a result of inhalation or inspiration of oxygen that's taken in, we have the oxygen gas that's put into the capillaries here, and then into the pulmonary venules, as you see here. Pulmonary venules, you trace this up here, then to the pulmonary vein. So now we're back here. So this is a pulmonary veins. These are pulmonary veins coming into the left side of the heart, your left atrium now. And of course the oxygenated blood then goes down into the left ventricle, as you see here. And then whenever you have contraction of this ventricle here, we have closing off of blood from going up into the atrium here. That is going to cause the oxygenated blood, just like on the right hand side with deoxygenated blood, to go into this semilunar valve here, the aortic semilunar valve. And of course that pressure opens up this valve here, right there, aortic semilunar valve, and that is going to then go up into your ascending aorta of the aortic arch. And then of course it's going to go down the descending aorta here, or thoracic aorta, and of course it goes down the abdominal aorta, and then of course we can see it's going to then branch here, common iliac artery, femoral artery, going on down, femoral artery, and then let's go this side here. So right here, smooth that. Okay, so we're going down here. This is showing you the femoral artery, and we have the popliteal artery here going down, and this right here is showing you the posterior tibial artery. And from there, we're going to go to the calf muscle right here. So we see this on this model here of the calf muscle. Anyway, from the posterior tibial artery, we get to smaller arteries that's leading to the calf muscle, as you see here. And then, of course, I don't have a model that shows you the detail of that, so I went sort of low tech here with this diagram here. So if you look right here, we see at the cellular level, we can see arterial that's going in, arterioles, an arterial of the calf muscle here, or the gastrocnemius muscle, is carrying oxygenated blood, as you see here. And of course we can see that the oxygen is given up right here to the tissues, so that they can carry on cellular respiration. And then we see the waste product of cellular respiration, the CO2 here, which is going to be put into the capillary bed. And of course we see the CO2 is going to be into this venule here. And then of course the venules go into the bigger veins, and then of course we eventually get to the either the posterior tibial vein or the great saphenous vein here. We have the venous return now that's going to make its way to eventually the femoral vein, and then your common iliac vein here and here. Then the inferior vena cava. Then back to where we started, the right atrium. So remember that the right atrium, or the right side of your heart, is associated with the deoxygenated blood, or CO2 blood, on the right side of your heart, the right atrium and right ventricle. Then that CO2 blood is going to go into your pulmonary trunk, and then of course the pulmonary arteries. On the left hand side, you have your oxygenated blood. We can see the pulmonary veins coming in right here to the left atrium, and then of course your left ventricle, and of course we can see that this aortic semilunar valve opens and causes blood to be pushed up into the aorta. Okay, that's it.